For the 53rd Gulf Western Oil Winternationals, you've got to roll the dice to get a championship. Wayne Daley currently sits in third in points. Mate, this weekend, unfamiliar combination, just too much of a risk, isn't it?
Oh, it's a big one for us. We're lucky we had some testing last weekend that put us in the race, we think. But, you know, as we all know, the qualifying is a major part of this weekend. And we're lucky enough to get 4 rounds of qualifying, and I'm hoping that we can come out in front at the end of all of that, yeah.
You're going to need all of that, aren't you? Because really, this is not so much a familiar combination. It's a car that's only this is the second event that it's old.
Yes, it's a new car to us. Not a new car as such, but it's a new car to us. Quite different to our other car, which we had for a number of years. And we had that one pretty well sorted. We sort of knew what it was going to do and when it was going to do it. This one here, there's a lot of sorting to be done with the suspension yet. And we're chasing some gear ratios right now, which we'll run for this weekend, and see if we can just make it get that a little bit better than it has been. It went into the mid-690s straight away, which sort of surprised us and probably a lot of other guys at the same time. But that's where we are right now.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to look back over the timeline of when you first took delivery of this car. You come out with a brand spanking new engine, but then that fails on you.
Yeah, the engine gave us some issues when we changed to the unleaded fuel. I think we've come past that now. We're on a fuel now that I feel comfortable with. We ran it for testing last weekend and it's showing good signs, so that's a real good sign for us coming into qualifying.
Yeah, it really is. Well, guys, 16 points to the leader in Jason Hedges, and he just sits 2 points behind second place in Tyrone Tremayne. Keep your eyes on the Diamond T Toolboxes car this weekend. Wayne Daley on a charge, ready to roll the dice.
And we have got another 2 of the hitters rolling out to the start line now. Jason Hedges in the SRP competition, Pontiac GXP. He is your championship leader in the 400 Thunder Series. He's the only man who has appeared in 2 finals this season, and of course took home his first win in the 400 Thunder Championship back at the 2019 East Coast Thunder, I should say, in Sydney. And of course the man in the other lane, one of the most experienced pro stock campaigners in this country never to have won a championship, and that is Wayne Daley, with the new Dodge Dart. Ran it once down in Sydney in competition. Trim is making its Winternationals debut this weekend, and he has got plenty of horsepower on board, but it hasn't come free. They've had some engine problems over the last few events, and I think they're hoping that they've got that rectified now.
Yeah, Daley tested last weekend. He was one of the only pro stock drivers to take it to the finish line. Went a 6.95 in testing at the Winter National warm-ups. Jason Hedges did a lot of laps, I think about 8 laps last weekend, just getting some invaluable data for the team.
Yep.
He is our championship leader, as you touched on. Yeah, the only driver to appear in 2 finals for this super season in the 400 Thunder Series. It has been sheer consistency of getting from start line to the finish line under power for Jason Hedges, that getting him those round wins.
Yeah, and although Jason came out last week, he tried to make 8 runs at the winter warm-ups last weekend, got to the finish line once out of those 8, but he said we're not worried because we were trying things, we were trying new stuff, seeing what worked, what didn't. They've basically put the setup back to what it was in Sydney a couple of weeks ago, and they're hoping that will get them solidly into this pro stock field. Big wheel stand for Jason Hedges, 102 to the 60 full-timers, bouncing a little bit at half-track down there, drops the chute in a 708 to a 699. I think Jason actually rolled out of it early there, only 188 miles per hour across the finish line.
Yeah, I think Daley was the same, only 192, but that puts him at number 5 and 6 in qualifying there for Wayne Daley. He goes to number 5, Hedges goes to number 6. We have a bump spot of 7.69 seconds there for Mario Polito. On the outside looking in is Bruce Leake.
So Tyrone Tremayne now, the Tremayne Racing, Next Gen Engineering Camaro. He'll be taking on the Diamond T Toolboxes. Dodge Dart of Wayne Daley. Both of these guys still in the championship hunt. Position number 2 and 3. So this is, if nothing else, a little bit of a psychological battle.
Oh, definitely. The Wayne Daley Motorsport team are actually running a competition down in their pits. You can win a $250 gift card of your choice or one of 4 Pro Stock t-shirts. All you need to do is head down to their pits, the Diamond T Custom Toolboxes stand just behind the grandstand, Tanta. They've got a little barcode there that you can just scan, which will enter you into the competition. You can win a $250 gift voucher or one of 4 Pro Stock t-shirts. Just behind the grandstand at the Diamond T Custom Toolboxes stand. Check it out for Wayne Daley. Win yourself some cash or Pro Stock t-shirt. And he's got some nice t-shirts as well.
Absolutely. So, my question to you, we're going to see any games on the start line here. Is anyone going to try and get into someone else's head?
I don't think they're going to play games in qualifying. You think? You reckon they might? What are you thinking?
You ever met some of these guys? I reckon. Put it this way, I'm not putting it past anybody. I'm not putting it past anybody.
I'm a big fan of the games. Like, I'd like them to play games. It's good fun.
Well, we've now got a bump of a 6:38. That's not going to come into play.
7:38?
Sorry, 7:38 I should say. That's not going to come into play this time around. Both of these guys solidly qualified at the moment. Both guys going nice and clean. 101 to the 64. Both races. And Daley over the center line. 697 for Tyrone Tremayne to the 1,000th of a second. Exactly the same as what he ran in the first round. And Wayne Daley a 7:33, but that car crossed the centre line. I didn't actually see what happened. Let's have a look at the replay on the Diamond T Custom Toolboxes giant screen one more time here, and you can see just
drifting towards there. A little bit of a move there.
Just kind of, and there, yeah, drive there. There's a big move, and that's actually punched a hole in the front of that car.
Another team with a bit of work overnight of fixing a body.
Yep.
I'm losing count how many timing cones we've lost today.
I think we need a timing cone counter. Can we get a graphic going for that?
Wayne, first day of qualifying here at the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals has been a tough day for the team.
Yeah, today's one of the days you never wish upon anybody. We've qualified number 5, which is not where we want to be, I can tell you. And we've damaged the car on the second qualifier, hitting the cones at probably over half track. Done a fair bit of damage to the front end, and the good thing was, by the time I got back to the pits, a lot of the friends of mine from the years gone by have put their hand up, and the front end's already at a repair shop being repaired now for tomorrow.
6.99 in Q1. I mean, solid pass still, but the pace is looking pretty hot. Once again, the data is showing that there's still a lot of improvement left in this Dodge Dart.
Oh, there's plenty to go. I just hope we get enough runs or enough time to get the car sorted in the pits before we take it to the track again tomorrow for another qualifier, which will be qualifier 3. We definitely need to move from where we are, and that's going to be our aim for tomorrow.
Even the run where you got the timing cones, though, the first half of the racetrack, very, very quick. So, new set of tyres going on for tomorrow.
Yep, no stone left unturned as usual. We'll give it our best shot for tomorrow. New tyres, the front end will be repaired. Some changes we'll make to the car that hopefully, is all I can say right now, we'll pick it up because we need to move up in the qualifying.
As soon as we hit
It is the Andergrove store car of Brian Purcell. He'll be taking on Wayne Daley, who's another car who had just a little bit of a nose job yesterday.
Well, I can tell you Wayne Daley's crew did not sleep. They have literally not slept. There is no racer tape on that front body. They have rebuilt the front body. They ran out of time to get it painted.
They were going to paint it.
They were going to paint it. So they spent the entire night fixing the front end there on the body there after collecting the timing blocks yesterday.
I was going to say it's about the cleanest repair you will ever see that's been done at a racetrack. That is absolutely sensational. When you look at it, if it was painted, you wouldn't even know that there was any difference. But Wayne Daley, obviously not ideal for him yesterday. He is currently sitting in the number 5 qualifying spot, and of course this is Diamond T Custom Toolbox's Pro Stock.
Yeah, also they're running a big competition this weekend. You can win a $250 gift card of your choice or one of 4 Pro Stock t-shirts. Just scan the QR code at the Diamond T Custom Toolbox grandstand behind the grandstand to enter. So go check it out. If you want to win some gift card or some shirts, go check out the Diamond T Custom Toolbox stand here behind the grandstand. Okay, Brian Purcell currently number 4 with that 696. He has improved on both passes that he ran, so that was a PB for the team as well, that's 696. Wayne Daley, I expect these guys to improve as well with their early 699. And we know the Tremaynes are 1 and 2, but I'll tell you someone who has the power to go ahead of those guys, it's Wayne Daley.
Yeah, absolutely. This Hemi has got probably the most horsepower in the field.
I think so as well.
It is a very, very tough engine combination, very aerodynamic body, the latest model body in the field, I should say.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Both sub 1 second to the 60-foot timers. Purcell a little bit close to the centre line, but what's the number? 694
With
now.
6, I think he goes to number 1, Brian Purcell.
1,000th of a second, I think he gets it by, and Wayne Daley goes 697 with an 8, so he will now move up the field as well. So Brian Purcell moves to the provisional number 1 qualifying position with that 694 with a 6, and Wayne Daley, although he improves, he's still in the 6-second zone, still stays number 5.
Absolutely incredible there from Pro Stock. We've got 5 cars in the 6-second zone, and then we've got 3 cars running all in the 708 zone.
I need to go back? We're good enough for it?
Joseph Marino was there helping them out. They had help from about 4 and I'm going to tell you, Garrett Davis is Michelle husband and the crew chief said to me this morning,
it would have been just spin the wheel there. Like, the 60 foot was going left, but they kept on spinning it.
He left me on the side line.
Go to Harley. Go to Harley, do not put it there anywhere.
So Wayne, a bit of a relief to get that one out of the way.
Yep, that's a reasonable start to the day. I think we'll probably get some pretty good data off of that one. I'll be able to tell you in a minute when we get this up on air.
Huge effort by the guys to get the front clip back together.
Massive effort. I believe they're working nearly all night, 3 or 4 of them, just to get us back on the track again for today. Good job, Peter Wells and all the boys, that's for sure.
Wayne Daley isn't on top of qualifying charts?
Yes and no. I mean, when you look at it on paper without any other information, you go, yeah, absolutely. But when you look at the weekend that they've had, not necessarily the case. You can see and I'm not trying to begrudge him here, but I know in his words it's big and ugly at the moment with that big patch on the front of the car. And talking to some of his crew earlier on today, they were actually saying within 15 minutes of hitting the foam block yesterday afternoon, the front end of this car was already on a trailer on its way to be repaired.
Yeah, that was Peter Wells did the repair work for him overnight. They're big thanks to those guys. Literally didn't sleep.
The problem with it was that nothing was drying. It was so cold last night. All the products that they were using weren't drying, so they had to do the work and then sit there with the heat gun to try and heat it up and get the epoxies to go off and all the different materials they were using, and that's why they ran out of time. They were actually planning on painting this thing before it came back out. So that's an amazing work. And for Tyrone Tremayne on the far side of the racetrack, he's having, I don't want to say a quiet weekend, but he's back in number 3 qualifying spot, 694. Considering he's still in the championship hunt, we haven't really spoken about him a huge amount this weekend. He's just going out there, going about his business, looking for his 3rd Winternationals crown in Pro Stock, but his first championship. 0-2-0 on the tree. He is deadly focused this weekend. This is a good run for him. Across the line, 698. For Tyrone Tremayne, and Wayne Daley goes through for a 705. But I tell you what, Wayne Daley was super close to the wall as he went through the finish line down there.
Yeah, that's so we're seeing something that Aaron Tremayne touched on just before this session happened when Benny Bishop was chatting to him. We look at the replay here that he didn't expect the Pro Stockers to improve this session, and that's something. It's pretty much that's been the way. They were running about 1-200 slower than what they ran earlier. Yeah.
Wayne, after the longest championship season in drag racing history in Australia, it all comes down to the final 3 passes of the year. Round 1 coming up. You look like you found a little bit more in the car overnight. How's the confidence?
Confidence is fairly high, although number 4 running number 5 straight up is probably the hardest race in the bracket, first round. And if we get past this one, I'll be more than happy, but it is the toughest race.
It's a case of round by round. The maths works out that if you win this one, you're still live in the championship.
Well, that's how it works out math-wise. Let's see how it works out in reality.
Conditions today, pretty similar to the rest of the weekend?
Yes, we ran good in these conditions last weekend, and I think if everything goes our way right now, this car will be fast.
We will have a first-time Australian champion in the 400 Thunder Series in Pro Stock.
Unless Aaron Tremayne comes from the heavens.
Unless Aaron Tremayne comes from the heavens, and he is back there. Qualifying list, as you can see on screen now, Aaron Tremayne was way out in front of everybody else with that 691 from yesterday.
And the points actually closed up between first and second with their qualifying points, so they're only 10 points separated now.
And realistically, it was less than a round of racing between all these guys anyway, so it was always going to be whoever goes deepest into eliminations. But that just adds a little bit more intrigue into it. Now, Wayne Daley has not had the smoothest of running this weekend. Clipped the centreline cones, and you'll see on the front of this car, it's a bit of a patchwork. It's a bit of a patchwork, but I'll tell you, if it starts getting round wins today, Wayne Daley won't care if it's ugly or not. He's got a really tough ask here against Scott Porter, though. This is Wayne Daley's championship on the line. He needs to win this race, because if all 3 of our championship combatants lose in the first round of the racing, it'll go to Jason Hedges. Yes. So that's another scenario that we haven't even discussed.
There's a lot of storylines here. I can tell you that Scott Porter, on paper, he's had a pretty consistent weekend, 696, 697, 697, but they've been battling some little gremlins themselves that we don't see from the outside looking in. Sometimes you see those ETs and you go, there you go, that looks like they've had a pretty easy cruisy weekend running those sort of consistent numbers, but it hasn't been. It has been all hard work for these guys. Scott Porter moving forward. Championship implications here on the start line for the Diamond T Custom Toolboxes. Pro Stock car of Wayne Daley has never won a championship, has never won the Winter Nationals in the 30 plus years that he has been driving these cars. Possibly 40 years for Wayne Daley.
And this is no pushover, because Scott Porter had 3 personal bests.
Double 07 for Daley.
Wayne Daley is absolutely on it. He's out in front. Porter's driving around him, and Porter has got the Porter has got the win, 697 with a 2. Wow, margin of victory, 17 thousandths of a second at the finish line. And unfortunately for Wayne Daley, after what was a really good run, 7:02, 007 on the tree, he did everything he needed to do, but missed out by just that much.
17 thousandths of a second there for Wayne Daley, loses, so he is now out of the championship. Scott Porter goes through to the semi-finals with another 6.97. Is a bracket car for Scott Porter. Look at that across the finish line. They were neck and neck. They wouldn't have known who had won that race.
Example of why we don't make these things on paper. You've got to put them out on the track and see what happens, because anything that happens now is a pro race. And what a story in pro life. Got to have your back off on the Suzuki High.
Wayne, 17 thousandths of a second across the finish line. You couldn't have done much more, could you?
No, I drove the wheels off the car on that run. I went for the best light that I probably had in 5 years of racing, maybe. Only to see him come up beside me in high gear, and I was watching him just go past me right on the finish line.
As you say, a good light, 007 reaction time. That put a lot of pressure on Scott Porter.
It did, and he's probably lucky that he's got a little bit more power than we've got right now. Our engine's not at the peak where it should be. It's a little bit down. That's sort of held us back a little bit with some of the pace we should have been running at. It's put the engine behind a little bit in the power band, and we were very aware of that, so we've had to try everything else we could to get the car to run as fast as it has ran. We're sure this is a low 690 car. Next season, I think you'll find that we'll pick all that back up again and probably have a spare engine sitting there that won't put us in the situation we've been in this year.
Well, it's been a very, very long season. I guess there's going to be a few relaxing ales and bourbons this evening.
Mate, for me, it's time to go fishing. And an ale.
Excellent, mate. Good luck next season.
Yeah, and got to say congratulations to Tyrone. He's got the championship sewn up now. More congratulations to the team. They deserve it. He's tried very hard for a very long time.